Okay, here we are once again. The Freeze, the Scrolls at the Southern High Rock Gate on the bench. If you've been here with me previously, you know what this means. And if you haven't, this usually means a hot take is incoming. We are here at the request of a poll I put up to talk about what I've seen so far and give my take on this patch. If you don't want to watch a talk on video, believe me, I understand. I am the exact same. There's not many people I would sit and listen to waffle on about ESO, in all honesty. A couple, but not many. Um, but you do get a real take here, and I say things exactly as I see them. I'm not just going to read out something that a dev has written down. I'm not farming money for monetization. This isn't my career. I don't need everyone to like me, kind of thing, you know. So, people have asked me in the past when I make these types of videos to keep it constructive and not slam the devs. And I usually do try my hardest, right? And I'm not particularly trying to slam the devs. I don't hate the devs, you know, whatever. But I think anyone that's played a game for a certain period of time, you know, a long time, uh, when they don't see pain points getting changed, what they believe to be pain points getting changed, they're going to complain. That's just the way it is. You go watch any YouTuber, content creator, whatever you want to call it, any Twitch streamer, whatever. That's just it's going to happen. That's just the way it is. And you do anything long enough, you're going to have things that annoy you about it. So I have had my little audience on YouTube for a while now, and they know what to expect from me. Um, which is probably why they wanted my take on this patch. And I know it's a late take, but obviously I've only just come back to the game. So yeah, I think the reason that they wanted me here on the bench is because some things haven't changed, and I'm not afraid to say it. You know what I mean? Because I'm not worried about kissing anyone's ass kind of thing. So shout out to those people that always return, though, of course, for this poor gameplay from a bad player that can't sustain all time bursts. Whatever that fucking absolute bell end was in my comments saying the other day. I love those people. I love them so much. I shouldn't love them as much as I do, to be honest. So, starting off, I weren't even going to be returning to the scrolls. I had it in my head, you know. I was busy playing other games, doing other things. I weren't going to come back until the werewolf patch, right? I wanted to come and check out the werewolf patch, see what they changed and all that stuff. And I wasn't too fussed about the DK thing. When I first saw it, I was kind of like excited about it, but then I started to want to play other things, and I thought to myself, I've done the DK thing so many times now. Do you know what I mean? Like I just thought I'll just come back and see that when I come for the werewolf patch. Um, I'm saying a lot because I haven't done this for a while. I'm sorry. I got like little bullet points that I'm looking at so I don't steer too far off track. So I saw on social media somewhere that that was an AOE vengeance, and I thought, what better time to come back, get the rust off? You know what I mean? Obviously, ESO was like riding a bike, but I thought, what better time to come back, get the rust off while there's no CMX dribble, and ball groupers everywhere. You know the score. So, like in Vengeance, you haven't got any of that. So I thought, why not come back, get a few fights, enjoy it, before I jump into that stuff. Um, but I am going to say, Zos did a good job of advertising that was an AoE vengeance to pretty much everyone, apart from the people that are actually playing the game. And the reason I'm saying that, right, whether that was on there or not, I think they could have done a better job of signposting it in the game because I was having to remind people, that clearly just weren't using any AoEs, healing or damage skills, which I didn't mind doing, of course, but maybe they could have just had it in the bottom of the screen or something. This is an AoE vengeance, so people definitely know what's going on. Um, so my take on vengeance has not changed. My personal opinion, I still preferred the first couple, no scroll, skill, um, you know, keep buffs, nothing at all. no continuous attack. That was just raw gameplay. There was no perks. There was no champion points. That was just you and your character versus someone else and their character, your skill level versus their skill level. The only advantage you could get was literally changing the skill on your bar. That's it. If you were fighting someone on the exact same character as you, kind of thing. Um, Yeah, I still much preferred the mano approach, So you were just like having it out between yourself. But of course, people were not happy about that, and they started going crazy, didn't they? Saying they wanted to boycott Vengeance, and the reason for that was simply because they didn't have their like CMX built carry meta or immortal ball group buffs, and they logged into Vengeance and got flat packed by some random Zergling that they usually bully, right? So they got a reality check and they didn't like it, right? That's exactly what happened, trust me. And the way I look at it, whether it's true or not, this is just my opinion. The devs put the perks in to create a meta for those people to follow, which would attract them into wanting to play it, right? Which for me, of course, ruined that, as they might as well have just left the champion points in. As to be honest, it's the same old story. You got people using the meta tank perks with their sword and board, and they just won't die. Or you've got night blades with meta perks using force pulse and crush and shock, and they're instantly killing you in vengeance after. I don't know what it is with the dev team on this game. They just won't learn that that's just not good. Like, allowing people to have like good damage with sword and board, or allowing range builds to have fucking mega damage is just not good for this game. It's not good for the game. Um, After actually jumping into Vengeance to play, the first day, I'll say it like this. Um, what, well, we usually when I bang on about the map, which I'm going to do in a minute, we're going to do that again, right? But I usually say, people have got different spare time throughout the day, right? But I'm not going to go through all that. You can just watch one of my old videos, right? But I've got a different spare time to other people, right? In my life, right? So I went on the first day of Vengeance. I took Alec to school, dropped him off, did the school run, right? Then I went to the shop, I think that day. So I must have got home about 9 o'clock, right? 9 a.m. in the morning on the first day of Vengeance, right? The first day that I played. I logged in, and the entire map was one color, and there was a 2-bar EP Zerg running around and fucking mauling people into the ground. It's horrible, horrible, cancer gameplay. Um, there was like what I'm trying to say is there was like 8 DC players, right, available to play, and maybe less than that, right? And there was like literally a handful, like 3, 4, 5 AD players against this 2-bar Zerg, right? And this 2-bar Zerg weren't just like um having little fights with people on the side. I mean, they were absolutely fucking mauling people down one at a time, all focusing one player, and then teabagging the fuck out of them. Right? And I was sitting there thinking to myself, why the fuck have I turned this game on for this? What the fuck? This is meant to be a test to improve the game, right? That's what Vengeance is, right? Am I correct or what? And I started to think, are they just doing this to me, right? I was thinking, is it just me or what? Like, because I've just come back, right? In my head, I ain't got no beef or nothing, right? I've just come back to the game. So, I actually sat and watched a little bit. They were just doing it to everyone. That's just like, what's happened to the game? Like, what's going on? But anyway, I'll give you a quick example, right, of what I'm talking about, right? Say I was like in the open, right, like somewhere like here, like just random in the open, and there was like the only line of sight that I could get, right, was like a tree. So round I went this tree because I had like 8, 10 people leaping me, dawning me, trying to fucking incap me, everything, right? So round and round, just round and round. That was quite funny how long I survived, right? Just going round this tree. That was funny as fuck. Um, but then like another like handful of people turned up and started fucking, I mean, raining siege on my head, right? In Vengeance, right? And I'm still managing to stay alive, only just, right? And then another like couple of people come up, popped out as cloak or sneak. and just blast me with force pulse, and I died immediately. But then after that, they all walked up to me and started teabagging me. I'm sitting there, it's like, what the fuck? Is this meant to be a test to improve the game? What in the fuck? Like, mate, I can't stand shit like that. I like, for me, the devs should have things in place to stop this, right? Just in general, they should have things in place to stop it. I'll give you an example, right? I'm going to give you a couple of my ideas. Don't rush to hire me. Don't rush. They're not copyrighted, so if you want to use them, feel free, right? But if I'm a dev of this game, right? This part, what I'm now going to tell you, I think this should be for Greyhost and Vengeance, right? I think they should implement this, maybe test it in Vengeance and then implement it into Greyhost, right? So if I was doing Vengeance, right, testing this out, what I would do, I would put in place. For example, you wouldn't be capping the map in Vengeance to do that to people in the morning, ever, right? If you wanted Emp, Keep, and Scroll buffs in PvP in general, you would be PvPing to get them. The map would be reset daily, and the best buff in PvP, which is Emp, would be like an event locked by population. It wouldn't appear until the population was balanced. Then it would pop up. Like, when people pick up a scroll or whatever, even if you're in Imperial City and someone picks up a scroll, it comes up, don't it? It gives you that little notification, right? So I would make it so that would pop up and say the EMP buff is now available, and it wouldn't appear until the population was balanced. Um, because I believe that's the best way to do something like that. So no matter what happens, the best buff in PvP, you are going to PvP to get it. Do you see what I'm saying? I still think the setup is terrible. That's just my opinion. I'll say it until I'm blue in the face because I think that would just be better that way. You wouldn't be PvPing a dead map down at 1 a.m. for free buffs the next day. If you're playing in a different time zone, which is, we've heard the excuse for that in the past, that's the excuse for doing this every day, right? If you're playing in a different time zone, you can do that. You can get your AP, right? But you're not having them buffs the next day. You're not having them to be toxic in the morning with. That's what I would do. Because that's just ridiculous getting every buff in PvP for free by not even PvP. And I'll never understand it. I think it's terrible, right? So that's just my opinion. Um, And in 2026, right, the other reason why I think this is just terrible, right? In 2026, we still have people. I bet you even right. I'm not going to do it because um, I'm not trying to, highlight anyone in particular by saying this. But even right now, I bet you any money, right? There's people standing at this gate and they won't leave the spawn because they're like Zergy type players. And nothing wrong with that, right? Don't think I'm having a pop at you if you're one of those players, because I am not, right? I'm saying this for your benefit, in fact, right? But you've got Zergy type players, right, that can't play the game. They cannot play this game. They can't do anything now. That's even worse than it was before now. And I'll say this as well, right? You've not only have you got, I bet you any money if I go look at both of these gates, there's probably 8 to 10 players just standing at the spawn. And I bet you any money if we had these 3 keeps and our 2 scrolls, at least those numbers would double and they'd be actively playing. They can't play, right? And some people are coming in, looking at the map like this and going, fuck that. And they go and do something else, right? Because they don't want to sit and fight against Cancer CMX rebel carry that has been designed to never die and been fucking had the numbers squeezed on the damage so high that they just near instantly kill people. Right, and on top of that, they've got all the map buffs, all the scroll buffs, EMP, and the cost increase res draining people. Honestly, for me personally, I wonder why some people turn this game on because trust me, believe me, they don't want to play it. They literally don't. Half of them are scripting as well. Literally, half of these players are just straight scripting every day on this game and not getting banned. And for me, that's like I don't know why they turn it on because they literally have nothing interest in PvP whatsoever. Like don't want to play the game. They have no interest, right? And then on top of that, now of course you've got the crushing shock force pulse builds, or even worse, right? Which we'll get to in a minute. But you know, the Zergy type players with like DK, for example, having a sustain button and Zos not changing Major Vitality on scribing or changing the sword and board passives. Now these Zergy type players cannot play the game. They can't play your game anymore. You're fucked it now completely. And the reason why I always bang on about this, right? The reason why I always say it is because whether we like it or not, right? Any 1vxer or I'm sure some bull group there will be angry when I say this, right? But save your comment because whether you like it or not, whether I like it or not, it doesn't matter. These players standing at the gate here, these are the core community of ESO. Whether you like it or not, they are. Because without these players, you wouldn't be making 1vx videos. You would not be fucking trolling Zergs with your ball group. You wouldn't be doing it. As simple as that, right? So the game wouldn't exist without these players. And it always seems weird to me that Zos ignore these players, right? I'm not saying you should super overtune these players or nothing like that. I'm just saying they simply can't play the game. That winds me up so much when you've got like say it like this, right? I'm going out to fight these fucking brain dead idiots, right? In the morning. You know what I'm like? I don't care. Win, lose, I'm out there, right? And you know, I'll turn it into content. And I'm not just saying this because I'm losing before that Chan Fu fucking bell end or someone comes on here. I'll say, oh, you're just crying because you're losing. I'm not. I can show you clips of me on my DK beating these players while the map looks like this, right? That's not what I'm saying it for. But what I'm trying to say is when I go out to fight these people against all this carry dribble, right? And I get demolished 6v1 and I spawn and I'm seeing 8 to 10 DC players just standing there because they can't play the game. That is so frustrating. And I'm not angry at them. I blame the devs. Just reset the map. Just reset it. I just like, and then what does that do? That enables everyone to play the game in the morning. Even if the map ends up looking like this, at least when they log it into play, they can go and get some keeps and they ain't got to keep running back from the gate, running back from the gate, die, run back from the gate. It's so annoying. Do you know what I mean? Give everyone these two keeps, reset the map, give everyone their scrolls and these two keeps. And then when they turn the game on, they can go and fight and get some keeps and enjoy the game. I think that would be so much better for them. I just don't understand why they won't do it. We know it's the endless war. We know the game's got spaghetti code. But how hard could it really be just to reset the map each day? I don't understand it. Do you know what I mean? Pick a time. That hasn't even got to be like 8 o'clock in the morning. Do it midday. Do it 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Whatever. Just so that when people log in, they can play the game. This setup is not good. Some people. I'm saying this actually, knowing that some people do enjoy the. Some people do enjoy getting the keeps back, and I know that because some of the Zergy type players. Who I have no problem with when I say that. Don't think like again, I have no problem with these players. Some of these players are actually super chill and they're quite funny. Right? There's a guy on DC. I'm not going to say their name. There's a guy on DC, and each time we take a keep, he writes like a little, like a role play thing, and everyone loves that. You know what I mean? It's not just me. Everyone loves that. There's nothing wrong with it. But I think some of these players are Zergy type players. They enjoy the Zerg stuff, right? They like get joining with people and stuff. They enjoy it fully, right? Like they don't even want to get better. They don't even want to become, or not better, but they don't want to become like a 1vx. So some people don't want to get frustrated on the game like that, right? You see what I'm like? I get frustrated. You know I'm straight in there. I play the game properly. That's why, right? All these people that make fun of me and they come on my channel and they type all these vicious little nasty comments, right? The reason why they do that is because they don't play the game properly. They hate me. They absolutely despise me because I will go and fight them, right? Whether I win or lose. But what they do is they go and make friends with every single person that can compete with them. And then they just run around killing all the Zergy type players, right? And when I point out that out, they hate me for it, right? Right? But that's the truth, right? They don't get frustrated, they don't get angry because they just don't fight anyone that can compete with them. And I know this because I've played this game a long time, right? It was the same on every Xbox server that I played. It's the same here on PCEU, the exact same. People that literally they'll stand next to each other on different alliances, fighting different people. And they say these are the people that say to me, "I take this game too seriously," right? And this is why I always laugh at them. How can I take this game too seriously, right? I play it fully fully legitimately at all times, right? I'm never breaking the rules or doing anything dodgy. I'm not exploiting. I'm not using scripts. I'm never teaming, right? I'm not attacking people because they're my friend. There's probably two people in the entirety of Cyrodiil where I wouldn't have fight them, but because I've just played against them for years, and we've endlessly fought each other for years or whatever. But that'll never raise any higher than that. You're looking at these people, they're like they'll reel off a list of 25 people that they don't attack, and they just happen to be the most full cringy CMX dribble meta, fucking never play anything they've made themselves, using skills exceptionally fast type of players. Now, isn't that strange, right? Because they don't want to get frustrated, right? And that's fine, but you shouldn't be popping off in people's comments if that's what you do, right? You shouldn't be talking like you're a good player if you don't fight anyone that can compete with you, right? Those type of people I hate. But going back to what I was saying, I've gone on a bit of a rant there, but going back to what I'm saying, right? These players, I feel like Zos is just neglecting them, and they have for years, right? And I don't understand why, right? And when I came, especially in Vengeance, I don't know why they won't just test this. What's the problem in testing something like this? I bet you any money that would be so good. I bet loads of people would enjoy it more because they could log in, they'd have somewhere to spawn, they wouldn't have to keep running back from the gate, and they wouldn't have to keep dealing with fucking group buffed imps that have got every buff from the map, fucking cost increase, res draining people. They can't play the game. You've made it too broken now. They literally can't play the game. That's pathetic. I think that's so bad. That needs to change. Either change the map or change the sword and board passives or take major vitality off Scriven, because with DKs having a sustain button, you can't allow that to continue. I tell you, I should have. I've got some, but I'm not going to show them all. I should just rain all the messages in the zone chat down the screen so you can see it. The amount of people saying these free players are immortal. I can't kill them. And you got people saying this. I can't kill this DK. Someone actually wrote in the chat the other day. I was giggling to myself because I always talk about scripts and that. And someone said, I've just come back to the game after about a year, and you're not telling me that these players here are legitimate. Right? Because not everyone has just fell off a Christmas tree. Do you know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, I think they should do something about that, right? And I'm always gonna, when I make these types of videos, I'm always gonna do a little piece on that because I think the setup is terrible for the map, right? And my opinion on it will never ever change ever. So I'm always gonna say it until they do something about it. I think it's a terrible setup personally. So, as for the population in Vengeance only, this part is for Vengeance only. I think they should do what I just said then, though, and I think they should implement that in Greyhost as well. But for Vengeance only, you would think the devs would want the people participating in their tests to improve their game, to enjoy their time spent in Vengeance, right? You would think they would want people to have fun with it, and they would want to collect the best data. I don't understand what data you can be collecting by a 2-bar Zerg, night capping the map, and then just fucking mauling. Like, you're talking 20, 30 players literally spamming one player down. What data can you be collecting that and then going and teabagging? I just don't understand it. But anyway, I think they should have something in place like this, right? For example, if you were an EP player and you logged into an overpopulated alliance, it don't matter whether you're EP, AD, DC, if this is the case, is what I'm saying. I think a message should appear on your screen saying, welcome to our Vengeance test. Your alliance is currently overpopulated. To make our test as fun as possible for everyone, we would ask you to change alliances for free in Vengeance only until the population is more balanced. If you would like to return to your alliance at any point, you can simply log out and back in, as this effect will only last until your next login. How hard could that be? Right? Not in Vengeance, not in Greyhost, not in Trials, not in Imperial City, not in the actual live version of the game, just in Vengeance. How hard could that be to do? You know what I mean? We know, of course, we've heard them talk about spaghetti code. I'm not a dev, I'm not a coder, so I don't know how hard it would be to do these things. I'm saying I always sort of try and make sure I say that. But I think they should be looking at some things. You know what I mean? Like so, like for Vengeance. The reason why I'm saying stuff like this for Vengeance is because meant to be for the betterment of the game. Like, don't get me wrong. Like dinner time, like 5, 6 o'clock, 5, 6 o'clock ish. Why can't I say that? 5, 6 o'clock ish. Um, there was more players coming into Vengeance, of course, and things did change up. But that was every day I logged in. That's what it looked like. Obviously, I logged in at different times of the day because sometimes you'll have bits to do, right? Sometimes you'll game in the morning, um, and then you'll go and do the bits what you got to do throughout the day, or vice versa. You know what I mean? But on the first day of Vengeance, I did want to play in the morning, of course, because I hadn't played ESO for a while. So I thought, fuck it, I'm gonna sort of shrug off what I've got to do until later and get some fights because I wanted to play. You know what I mean? Which I'm sure some other people in my position will be the same. Maybe people that work from home or whatever, right? So that's enough of Vengeance. Anyway, I've been waffling on too long. This video is going to be too long if I carry on. So I did put a poll up three weeks ago when I first got back to the game, asking what people thought of the animation changes for DK, 2H, the visuals, the audio, and all that stuff. Because whether that was new to the game or not, it was new to me because I just got back, so I was interested in people's opinions. 5 people did take part, which I was surprised about because I didn't think anyone was going to, because I hadn't posted on anything about ESO for a while, had I? Because I was doing the marathon thing and all that. And of course, this won't speak for the entire community, but those 5 people that did take part, shout out to those guys. I simply put up saying, you do like the animation changes, you don't like the animation changes, and that was 60-40 in favor of not liking them. Again, it doesn't speak for the entire community before someone comes here and starts losing their mind in the comments. That was just for my poll, for my channel, on my video, what I'm talking about now, right? So that's perfectly fine to say that. One guy did drop a comment, Rebel Slave. Shout out to that guy because I was actually interested. So people engaging about that was good at the time. So he said, I don't play DK, but it looks okay. I think I do not like 2H at all. Dizzy and Bonk feel weak. Execute and Rally look stupid. The sounds are weird and the animations make you look like an anime character. If they plan on changing every animation on the game to look this way, it's going to destroy the visual identity of the game. It also just doesn't look very Elder Scrolls-ish in general. Vengeance is sneaking in more and more. They've changed their wording when describing it, and now it's sounding more and more permanent. I can smell another betrayal on the horizon. I hear you. I hear what you're saying. Mm, right, I'm not on the side of devs, and I'm not on anyone else's side. Um, I'm on my side, right? So I can I can hear what you're saying. Um, but the game did need a new lick of paint, right? It needed something. And I don't, you know me, I don't give a lot out for the devs. I'm usually complaining when I make these videos, but they are trying. I'll give them, they are trying. They're 100% they're trying. They're trying new things. And I don't think we should just give them both barrels for trying new things, right? Because if you just give the feedback and, if they don't change what you give the feedback on, oh shit, my bad. If they don't change what you give, I suppose negative feedback on, then give them both barrels, right? But at the minute, um, okay, you got to give them some kind of a chance. They are trying. Like I said, the game needing the new lick of paint, but I do hear what you're saying. And when I give my take on DK in a minute, you will understand what I mean. So, the vengeance thing, they're not going to force vengeance. People don't want it. They've already said in the past that they know people don't want it, even though technically it's meant to be the better thing for the game. I don't even want vengeance. You know how I feel about vengeance now. Now they put the perks in, I think it ruined it, personally. But yeah, I can't see him doing that. Well, even when I was playing in Vengeance, I was asking where the DC population was, and there was people saying that people straight quit the game because they were DK mains and they don't like the DK changes. Even that is, like I say, I think that's a bit irrational because you know the score. They usually put things in and then change them or nerf them when people complain. Um, or sometimes they're just like, fuck you, and they don't. But yeah, you know, there was people logging in as well to Vengeance saying, "Oh, not this shit again," and then and then asking when Greyhouse was back, and they were like, "Right, I'll see you then," um, which I think is bad. You should just take part in it anyway, because again, they're trying to collect data, whether you enjoy it or not, as for improving the server in it to make it less laggy. And that's what they're trying to do. Is what the whole idea of Vengeance is. So. Yeah, I can't personally see them trying to force Vengeance. That would be pretty much suicide for ESO PvP because not, I'm not going to say everyone doesn't want it, but a lot of people don't, and they know it, that, you know, people have made it abundantly clear that that is not what they want for this game. So I'm going to do my DK take in a second, but I am going to say I did notice this as well. You can just respec shit wherever you are. It doesn't matter. You can just respec your skills whenever you want. I thought that was cool as fuck. And also the attributes, because this went about when I last played. So yeah, I think that's nuts. Just being able to do that, you know, wherever you are, I thought that was kind of cool, worth mentioning, you know. So oh, also I noticed that the shrines that I don't. Well, maybe it was just where I was at the time, but the shrine weren't there to cure myself, and I was so confused. But you can just do that on the Crown Store now, kind of. Or maybe they just took that out. Or I don't know, but that weren't there for me for some reason. So, oh yeah, and apparently, actually, now there's an NPC to bite you to give you a vamp buff. I'm not sure I like that change though. In all honesty, that was like sort of like a community thing, wasn't it? Where people you'd have to ask someone, like, do you know what I mean? And then they'd come and bite you. I thought that was kind of good having that player, you know, uh, communication. Like they got you talking to people. But then again, some people might not have got bites because of that or whatever, you know. So yeah, maybe that's why they did it that way. And there's some servers are dead, aren't they? So I suppose some people couldn't get a bite. Uh, yeah, but the DK. Let's talk about the DK. I'm going to try and make this a bit quicker because I've been waffling for a good minute here already, and I've still got more stuff to say. So the DK, I was a bit thrown off by this because you know some people will understand me when I say it. I'm not someone that stares at my skill bar while I'm playing, and them changing this incinerate thing. They've changed all the names and everything, haven't they? Them changing this incinerate thing sort of threw me off because, of course, we used to have the little ball, the little flame ball that would hover over your like your shoulder and then back around your waist. Um, so I didn't realize that I had this up or not. I kept tripping out, like, because I sort of play by what I'm looking on the character, not at the skills, do you know what I mean? Or sort of how the game feels, if that makes sense. So for me, that was like, well, people say muscle memory, don't they? But for me, that was like, I kept thinking it went up and that was throwing me off, do you know what I mean? So I kept pressing it and that was just, yeah. I don't know if that happened to anyone else when, you know, when they first got back, but for me, yeah, that was tripping me out. Well, I don't mind it now, it's fine, right? And, I didn't like the standard or the other morph of this because I only saw these skills in Vengeance, right? When I first came back, it was Vengeance, so that's what I saw. And I didn't really like the animation of the other version because that sort of just like pops out your back. I thought that was a bit half-assed. But when I got into Grey Host, we got the old beauty. That's still there. I'm glad they didn't change that, right? Because I like that. I thought that was worth mentioning, just saying that this now takes over your motifs completely. That's a bit weird, isn't it? I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying it's a bit weird. So it used to a little bit, didn't it? But now it completely takes over your shit like now. And you can have these nice colours and stuff as well. Whip, I was a bit confused about when I was in Vengeance because obviously that was Flame Lash and everyone was just running around literally spamming it. That just looked like really weird. But now I'm in Grey Host. We've got the big whip. We've got the 3 stacks on the Molten, and yeah, I don't mind it. Coag was a weird one. That's no longer Coag, but it's always going to be Coag here because yeah. So Coag for me, I was confused because I was seeing green numbers around me, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on here?" But Coag now heals people. I guess that's why it's got this little AOE light coming off your body. um, but yes, that's not a bad thing. I'm just saying I was confused at first. I was like, "What the fuck? How am I healing people?" But then also, what is that called now? Let's have a look real quick. That's now called Blood of the Elder Dragon. So I don't mind most of the stuff, right? Um, Even your Shatter and Rocks now is given. No, your Shatter and Rocks has got a delay and also a new way it looks when people are stunned or fossilized, whatever, right? I like the way it looks, but I don't understand the delay. I don't know why we've got a delay on that. And also, that's given you minor breach now, right? And you can get major breach from the stand breath, right? Well, I don't understand. What is that called? Disintegrating dragon breath or something it's called now. But for me, I was annoyed with what they did to Engulf and Flames. Right, I was already pissed off because they moved it from Ardent Flame, didn't they, into Dragonic Power. Right, this I was rattled, mate, when I got in Grey Host and because I've got this subclass build, right? I put it in one of those videos, and it wasn't OP, it wasn't meta, it wasn't broken, right? That's not why I liked playing this build. That was, to me, that was like my little Arcanus Beam build, right? I still play stuff like that because it's fun, right? I don't necessarily always play something because it's the most broken CMX build dribble meta on the game, right? I still play things because they're fun. And that build was so fun to play, right? And I was gutted when they moved Engulf and Flames because that completely ruined it. Because I couldn't use my Templar skills with Engulf and Flames anymore because of the way I had it set up, right? So I was pissed already because of that. I was really angry about it, right? And then when I actually look at Engulf and Flames, I mean, like, was someone like fucking someone was smoking that good shit when they made this? Like, what is this? Of course you can just cut that off, right? You can just immediately cut it off. There might be some role play thing or PvE, but can we not get an option for that? Can we not just get an option like well, it says hold Y there. Can we not just get an option for the long form animation or the short form? Like I don't understand why isn't the stand one like that? Why is it just the mag one? Why like and of course, you can just, like I say, you can cut it off, right? But I find even now, right, even right now after playing it for a little while, I bet you any money if I went and got in a fight right now, I would at some point forget, do this, and then be trying to whip, and I wouldn't be out of whip, right? Because I'm still, that's just sort of imprinted in my brain that I can just whip straight after using breath, right? And I don't understand why what is this good for? Like I just don't get it, that one. I'm sorry with that one. I I like most of the rest. I don't get that one. But yeah, I was annoyed about that. But now you also well you used to get major breach for this, right? And getting minor breach now from the Shorks. Shorks, I'm thinking about Warden now. Getting minor breach now from Shatter and Rocks. So we're having major minor breach from DK's kit. I don't know, man. I don't know. Um, and for me as well, I do like most of the stuff. Right, I even went on the tank the other day. I was running about on the tank in PVE, and this is what the game did need. This is what I'm talking about. You see this like this little refresh, what that looks like now. See that? That's what the game did need when I say it needed a lick of paint, right? A little freshen up on things. Right? 'Cause that looks good, right? It looks fucking nuts, actually, like a little fucking lava, the fluorescent orange. And that fluorescent orange, right? You're getting that now, on your leap shield. When you leap, you get that shield. Before, the leap shield wasn't like that, was it? That was like a dev had gone in and turned the opacity on it, like really far down. So that was like, um, near fucking transparent. And I think having the leap shield, this color, this fluorescent orange color, is good, right? Because now people won't be saying, "Oh, this guy wouldn't die," because they'll know that he's got a shield up, right? Because it's fucking bright orange. And I think that's good, right? Especially for newer players because they can understand what the fuck is going on. So things like that, to me, I think that's like top tier, right? Um, but what I can't get behind, and I just don't understand, right, is why we have done this. Why have we done this? This used to give you back the mag that you spend, right? Deep breath. They used to refund the cost. Like now, it's restoring 15% of your missing magicka and stamina every 2 seconds over 4 seconds. And for me, I don't understand this at all. I don't think this is good for the game. Not while you're having them sword and board passives and the major vitality on Scriven. This was a horrible, horrible mistake. They should have changed sword and board passives or major vitality from Scriven. When they did this, you can't have Charles Tanks running around with one shot one bow combos. You can't have that. This should be common sense. I shouldn't even have to say this, that you cannot allow that to continue on the game. That needs to be changed. One of those things I just mentioned need to be changed. You can't leave it this way. You've made the game. What this has done is made the game completely impossible for the Zergito players. They can't play the game anymore. And that you can't allow that. So, and even having this, right, just in general, why on earth was it put on this skill? I just don't fucking understand it. Why would you put that on this skill? This is where not laying into the devs, but this is where you can see they lack the understanding of their own game, right? Because whether you like or I don't care what anyone's going to come on here and say, this has never ever been the way that you play DK. And by putting a sustain button here, they are telling people that this is how you play a DK, and it's not. But this is how you play a DK. If you are going to play a DK, a standard DK, this is how you play it. So I don't understand why they'd put a sustain button on deep breath or whatever it's called. That's going to be deep breath. That's called solar flame. I don't understand why they put it on this. I mean, you could have put that sustain button on anything. You could have put it on fucking Coag, anything but that. And the reason why I'm going in on this, right, because number one, I don't like being told how I should play a DK, right, and on top of that, it just looks corny. Right, and that's not like I say. I'm not trying to lay into the desert. It just looks corny. It looks stupid. And when you're watching these people, those people that use their skills a bit too fast. Those people. When you watch them doing it, it just looks absolutely ridiculous. Like there's no two ways about it because you get an AOE light coming on this. You got your shatter spike up. You've got this that is procking. Your incinerate that is procking and popping now and then doing another like blue like AOE light, right? And then on top of that you got this. And that's like, and they're using this regularly, of course, and it just looks cringy. It looks corny as fuck. Um, whether or not people disagree, that's my opinion. It looks stupid, and of course, like I said, for me personally, that's not how you play a DK. So for me, that's just silly as fuck. And not changing the sword and board passives or taking major vitality off scribing, while letting a literal trials tank character have a sustain button was not a good idea. That is not good for this game, and that's just silly. Having literal walking tanks put out a one-shot wombo combo while being able to infinitely sustain. I just don't understand. Maybe this is part of some grand scheme for the complete overhaul, and that will make sense when the other characters are out. But for me personally, so far, this isn't making sense because we're already having minor brutality, minor courage, major brutality, um, major sorcery. We've got savagery and prophecy coming out of the character already. We're getting major minor breach, which means you don't need to use absorb stamina, and you can just use poisons and or glyphs instead. Yeah, I don't know what we're doing now at this point. I, I think we're just I don't know what I just don't understand what we're trying to do here. But like I said, maybe in the grand scheme of things that will make sense, but at the moment for me it doesn't. I've been fighting these players with the DK the way I play it, and you can still beat them, yeah, because you know what I'm like. I won't play a full carry character. I don't know why people do that. They mitigate every single damage type, and they can still put out a wombo combo. Everything has to have a downside. Everything. If it doesn't, you end up with your Zergy type players not being able to play the game. A DK right now, a good player or a scripter can just wipe an entire Zerg. You know what I mean? They can just pull out that sword and board, hold block when people are attacking them, and then just do their one by combo one by one and kill people. That is way too broken. And what people are doing right now as well, because they can infinitely sustain, on their trials tank, they're just hold and block, using the AoEs to get people down a bit, and then as soon as corrosive is up, they're popping corrosive, whipping someone once, and they're dying. That is absolutely ridiculous. That is why you don't give DK sustain without changing the sword and board passives. I don't know how many times I've got to say it, but I'm going to move on because I've been talking about this too long. I like a lot of it. I just think those things that I said are a bit silly, especially this. I don't understand this. I'm sorry. I can't. I don't know why. So the night market, I did play some night market, and actually, whoa, 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 whoa. Before I start the night market, right, we're gonna go down here. We're gonna go take a little pop down here. Right, I play on controller, right? You know this. Everyone knows this by now. I'm a controller player on PC, right? And for a little while, I've been annoyed about this, but I never really said much. But I'm going to say it now, right? So Zos, but this is my sensitivity on this game, right? And if I want to get more sensitivity, I have to get an add-on, right? I don't understand. Or you can go into the game files, which I don't want to do, right? Because I'm gonna touch the wrong thing and fuck the game up, right? Why can't we just have an option on the game to turn our sense up? I don't understand why, right? Because you're seeing this is how quick I can look up and down and round around. I've got mine like pretty much max, right? This is what I'm fighting against, right? And whether you like it or not, it does make a difference because you can snap backwards and forwards when you're fighting people, right? And I remember I got rid of that add-on a while back because I was having that little stint of my period on ESO where I was just proving that you don't need add-ons to play this game, right? And I was going full hell bent against the add-ons, right? But I just don't understand why we can't just why can't we just turn our sense up in the game? Like, I don't understand it. Why can't we like extend the little bar further so we can turn it up more? Like, I don't understand that personally. But I thought that was worth mentioning, right? Because that annoys me. I tried to get that add-on back, what I used to have. I forgot what that was called. That was something gamepad, right? And that would enable you to turn your sense up so you could look a bit faster. But I just don't understand why do we need an add-on for that? Why can't we just fucking make the option in the game go higher? Like, I don't know. I thought that was worth mentioning. So, night market. Um, with the night market, I'll give them this, right? Let's start off like this. I'm going to put some night market. Okay, thanks for that. Um, I'll put some night market in the background. This is when I was still having problems with my PC, by the way. I'll get the excuses out of the way quick. I'm not a PvE guy, but I did record some by accident, right? Which I'll explain to you in a minute, like 3 hours of it. So I'll put it in the background while I'm talking, so you're not just listening to me waffle, right? So I did play some night market, and I'm gonna give them it. I'll give it to the devs. An achievement in itself is getting someone who PvEs out of necessity mostly to enjoy it. I found myself enjoying it. I'm not gonna lie. There was times I found myself enjoying it. Although, like everything else on this game, I believe that was set up with cloak in mind, so you could navigate it easier. Um, could it have been better in places? Definitely. Like moving to specific bosses, as I was seeing most people choose to just die and respawn and run past everything before their timer ran out and they appeared back in the game. Even I did that a couple of times. Um, but I won't lie, I did. I found myself enjoying it, right? And well, I'll say I found myself enjoying it, but not to the point of getting 10k favor, unfortunately. And I even made the little tonics. I even went and put the recipe together and bought some of the stuff. I had some of the stuff, but I think I had to buy some stuff. And I made the tonics to get the favor faster. You know, when you touch the little balls of favor when you kill some stuff, you can get it a bit quicker. For anyone that hasn't done that, probably everyone has by now. But if you haven't, that is like using a Tor and Cyrodiil to get more AP. It's like the same kind of thing, or using an XP pot, right? So you get more XP. Same kind of thing. Those tonics. I got some on the trader, by the way. Feel free to buy them. You know, go running out of gold here. So something else I did like about the night market was the amount of shit you get. Oh my god, you get so much stuff from in there, don't you? Fuck me, I was getting like random bits of trial sets, fucking things you can go take and sell. You know, those like those little treasures. Sometimes they're worth like 2.5 grand. Some of them, I think. Which right, good stuff. All kinds of ink, loads of stuff, just everything you can think of, which is great, right? So I did go and kill the Argent. What is it? The Brazen bosses, then killed the Argent bosses, and I did all the 4-man dungeons. I got the relics. I like the idea of the relics, by the way. I thought that was cool. They should do more stuff like that. The only problem with the relics, when I was leading the groups, I ended up just going and not using them. I ended up getting the group to follow round, you know, the way you have to go without the relic, because if you didn't do that, all the people that didn't have it were just dying constantly because the group had just gone straight through the wall. I thought that was a bit, um, well, what's the way you can say that? Like, not the best design in that respect. Like, do you know what I mean? Because you got people that are just constantly dying trying to get to where you are. Because some of the things they had to run further, and not everyone knew where they was going, so their respawn timer would run out, and then they'd just die again. You know, I mean, like I found it easier just to get the whole group to go round the way and not use the relics, so that everyone could get there at the same time. Is what I'm trying to say. So, one thing I did like was by the time I got the key for the trial, I found out there was a new mythic on the game. I didn't even know it was existed. But for once on ESO, because I did all that and got up to the trial, didn't actually do the trial at that point. Um, I checked, I checked what leads I had, and I had them all. I was like, "Fuck yeah!" Right. So I went and dug that up. Obviously, as soon as you hear new mythics on the game, you want to try it instantly, don't you? So I went and dug that up, went into PvP, and I think I linked it to Rex, and him and his little group of people wanted to. I can't remember all your names. So I'm sorry. Him and his little group of people wanted to go and get it as well. I already hit record, right, to go and try this mythic and sort of give my take on it. And I ended up going into the night market with them to try and help them get theirs a bit quicker, sort of speed through stuff. And I ended up recording 3 hours of the night market, which is what you're seeing in the background. What else did I want to say about the night market? I did like the little oddities. I did like the little world bosses. The little buffs that they give you, and that I thought that was all pretty good. Like hope that helps you get through stuff a bit quicker, and that that was actually quite cool. Um, what else? Oh yeah, the Roman bosses. I fucking love that. Because they you'd be fighting, like you'd kill a couple of brazen, spawn an Argent, and then this wild boss would just come, and while you're fighting the Argent, everyone's staring at the thing that they're attacking, right? And then the wild boss would just come in from behind and just start wiping out half the team. Like I fucking love shit like that. Yeah, you need to do more of that. That's what I like. They're the things that keep me interested, right? And of course, it is hard. Some of it is quite difficult. Um, Things hit hard on that is what I'm trying to say. It's not like super hard, you know what I mean? It's just I'm talking about the damage that they do. That's what we want. That's what we want to see in it. Things that are like a bit more difficult than your average version. If you just go run around anywhere in any zone, you clap and shit easily, and you know what I mean? So yeah, that was great. Is there anything else? wanted to say. Yeah, but unfortunately, I didn't enjoy it enough, even though I went back through with other people. By the time I had done everything, even with the tonics, I think I only had 6k favor. That achievement in itself, getting someone like me to like it, right? But I think the 10k was a bit too much, because obviously what they wanted you to repeat things over and over and over. And don't get me wrong, I did loads of the dailies and all that. People were sharing, and we were all sharing them and redoing them and stuff. But no, I couldn't sit there for 10k. I'm sorry. Um, Maybe I was missing some of the little favor, like orbs, I guess you would call them, little orbs of favor. But that's because there's so many lights and stuff. Mate, that was like a whole fucking, that was like 5, 6 groups of us all got mixed in together, like just randomly. We didn't plan to do it. And we ended up going around zagging. I was fucking pissing myself. We're absolutely just zagging down the night market. That was quite funny. But yeah, uh, yeah, 10k was a bit much for me. I did do the trial, and I did like the trial, but I got into one of them trials where like you got to think, right? This is all new to me. I've watched a video. I've gone into a trial, and you get them people like, do you know every single mechanic on ESO? If you don't, please leave right now. Like, I got in there and I saw that. I was like, fuck you, man. I ain't fucking doing it. What more can I know? You know what I mean? I've watched the video. What more can I know? So I left that one, and then I joined another group, and they wiped once and left. People started leaving, so they were probably at it for a little while. You know what I mean? Because they sort of insta left as the second day wiped, they left. And then I went and joined another group, and there was a couple of people from Cyrodiil in there that I recognised their names, and I was just like, "Yo, don't leave." Like, there's 12 of us. Well, we're probably, most of us have probably never done this before. Just stick it out. You know what I mean? We're probably gonna wipe on once or twice, but we will do it. And one person did leave. We wiped twice. One person left, and then on the third time we did it. I'm not blaming that person. They should have just stayed in for another round. You know what I mean? We did do it, and they shoved me in the middle. They shoved me in the middle. That was me, a tank, and a healer, and we were just fucking. I was just mauling everything. I was using that. I think it was a skinny cheeks build. I was using that. Someone gave me that, but that looked exactly like his build, because I remember going to look for a build, and that looked exactly like his one. So I will say that was his. But I've sort of adapted that to the way I like it. It was comfy for me. You know what I'm like. But yeah, that. What is that? It's Arcanus, Templar, Nightblade. That is still slapping, man. That fucking hell, man. Just absolutely more than stuff. And I did find it easier as well. A little tip for you, freezy tip for PvE. You won't get many of them. But I did find it easier as well to put in, if you're struggling, reaving blows, because I haven't got a heal on that, and I didn't want to put Pale Order on because I would lose damage, but I put in the Reaving Blows champion point, and that's like a little mini Pale Order. On with your Arcanus skill with Flail, you can get your health back, right? But with that Reaving Blows being like a little mini Pale Order, you can still keep pretty much your full damage, and you can heal off beaming and stuff. So yeah, that's a good little top tip there from Freezy for PvE if you struggling in there, because at one point me and Rex we were two-manning in that night market, running around in that night market. He was on a tank and I was on the DD, and we were getting shit done. We were still putting shit down. So yeah, that Reeve and Blows is definitely a good little tip if you're struggling. So I did like the trial as well. I liked what was that bit where you have to, obviously they were doing running the balls, so I was just in the middle killing stuff. But I did like, you have to get all the bosses at the end. They've done that little mechanic where you got to wear them all down. Like, do you know what I mean? You can't just kill one. You got to wear them all down. And I felt like we didn't have a lot of damage in the group, to be honest. I think people were sort of building like more tanky shields to run the balls so they didn't die. And I was there fucking, I was sweating my nut off trying to get these bosses down to the same HP. That was quite funny. But we did do it, and someone did give me their helmet. They gave me the glittering gold one. Um, where is it? They gave me this one. I was quite shocked at that. He wrote in the chat and said, "Does anyone want this?" And like, this was like a swarm of people running, but I got there first. As soon as I saw that, I was like, "Yep, I'll have to do it again like multiple times anyway because you have got to get all the monster pieces." But I actually didn't know this. I looked it up. If you aren't able to do the trial, if you can't complete it, don't even worry. Say you can't get a team to do it or whatever. As long as your faction hits a certain milestone or something. I can't remember exactly what it said, but you will get the helmet and the shoulder anyway, so you ain't got to worry. I'm just going to wait to get the shoulder because I haven't got the staying power to get 10k favor. I want to go back in PvP. Yeah, you will get the helmet and the shoulder, and I think that's like the rarity of it depends on how high your faction goes. Like, because I think you can get a gold helmet and shoulder as well at the end. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I think. That's what I read. I might be wrong. I might be completely wrong, but I read something like that somewhere. I can't remember where I saw it. But yeah, I will have to do it all again anyway because you're gonna have to go on each one and get the shoulder piece in you. No matter what, you will have to get the shoulder piece, right? Because you'll get the shoulder piece for your faction at the end or from buying it from the store, but then you're going to have to change faction and get the shoulder piece because I think you can clearly get the different helmets, right? Or trade them with people. But the shoulder you will have to actually swap faction and either buy it or get it at the end of the night market each time. So I think, when does that leave? That leaves when update 50 comes, doesn't it? In like a week. It goes away for a little while or something, or just ends, and then you can swap faction like you swap alliance and Cyrodiil kind of thing. Um, yeah, but the whole idea of it I liked, and of course I'll mess around with that when I get it. I ain't going down doing that. Not that's too much. And maybe I will go do a little bit now and then, but for the most part, I liked it. I'll say that, right? I did like it. So hats off to Zos for that. And they can keep adding to that. They can add more stuff to that. Those little 4-man dungeons, maybe they can just keep chucking different sets in there and adding more of them and stuff, and they can get you farming stuff in there. Um, because I felt like once I had done everything, I'd had no reason to stay in there other than farm and favor, which I didn't really care about. So yeah, maybe they can add more stuff in and keep people engaged like that. Just keep adding more and more because look how many bosses are in the game. They can just keep chucking them in or whatever, can't they? Can do whatever they want. Like, all the different bosses were cool though. That Balorg one was quality, wasn't it? They had like 3 of them stomping about in there. Like, but the only thing with that one was actually I did bug out a couple of times, which to be expected, of course, new. Um, they've put all these stores on there. This is what I'm saying. They're trying. This is actually like good. I didn't buy it because I was pissed off with Zos at the time, and you saw me posting all that stuff on my YouTube, right, kicking off because my game weren't working as it should have been. I knew something weren't right, something weren't quite right. But yeah, this is class though, right? You've got your seals. You've got these trade bars, and this was something people kicked off about for ages, wasn't it? Like the slow burn of seals not being able to get their mounts what they want and stuff. There's fucking loads of seals in here. Even on the free one, that they're everywhere. You're getting these trade bars, which is something else that's new to the game, right? All that stuff, or since I last played. You're getting these little upgrade kits that give you like Rosen, Temps, and Drowax, like crazy, all kinds of stuff coming out of it, like the furniture, the people that do the housing that must be loving this thing. They must be absolutely loving this. The amount of like housing gear I keep getting from the night market as well, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, so they've definitely done good here. This is where the devs are shining, this kind of stuff. I thought this was some kind of new set. I was looking through all the sets thinking, what the fuck is that? Like, but that's just a skill style figure. That was funny. I actually wrote in the chat at one point, what is this little moon thing going on? Is that some new set? But yeah, there's all kinds of stuff in here. There's like Telvar, fucking like everything, transmutes. They have just gone crazy with it. The Imperial Archive stuff, like they've got literally a bit of just everything in here. I haven't paid too much attention to it at the minute. But look, just more and more and more. Look, like seals, so you can get the mount you want, whatever. Undaunted keys, you can get more skill styles or monster pieces. Writs, crown crates, amnesty things where you can reduce your bounty, just fucking experience for your companion, like just everything they've shoved in here. So yeah, I think it's good. I probably will get it now. Now all that silliness has stopped. You know what I mean? I weren't going to get that because I already paid for ESO Plus to do some trifecta runs with people that asked me to do them, and I wanted to do that because I hadn't done many on PC. I did some on Xbox, but I hadn't done many on PC. So when they asked, I was like, yeah, why not? Do you know what I mean? Like, you might as well get some completion of the game going because, like, you know me, like I say, I PvE sort of out of necessity, really. And then I was, on PvE and to get the stuff I need for PvP, or unless I'm short on gold because you can get a little bit of gold out of PvE, can't you, as well, doing trials and stuff. So the majority of things I do like. There's a couple of things there I don't like. It's not just a hate video slam and the devs. Oh yeah, I'll quickly show you the other little store for people that might not have seen it and stuff. I was talking about this stuff. This is what the bars are for, like the people that like doing their houses, the furnishings and all that. They must be absolutely loving life with all this stuff, and you can get little bits from it as well. Like these little mannequins or whatever they're called, house guests. You can get hairstyles, whatever. They've got some, not just all trash stuff in it. There's some like a couple of little bits that are pretty good, like outfits, recalls, all kinds of shit. So yeah, I think that's good there. What they've done there, 100%. Because of course you don't even have to buy this. You just getting that for free as well. Like, so people that can't or don't want to buy it, can still get some shit, which I think is cool, right? That's kind of cool. That's where the devs are shining, doing things like that. But I got to say, I think we are still a bit out of touch. And you've heard me going on about the cheating, um, the people using scripts. Why now? You know what I mean? Why do you think it is now that people would be doing that? Why do you think it's so popular now? Why people are going crazy doing it? What could it be? I was trying to get these people to say it in the comments, because you know what I'm like. I try and get these people talking, and then I keep them talking until eventually they incriminate themselves, right? I only entertain them usually for that reason, right? Which a couple of them did. We had one of our old friends back here, and he said that the add-ons are worse than people using scripts, right? He said there's some like atrocious add-ons, and like I say, you keep them talking, they will eventually incriminate themselves. But this mythic is why people want a script right now, and the reason why is because when you light attack, when you have 170 more or more ultimate, you apply random status effects, right? And that's why people are cheating more. Because not, I'm telling you, people talk about why I say people script, right? They think I can't do a simple rotation and all this stuff. They start dribbling, right? They start calling me bad, like all this stuff. None of that is true, of course. People do cheat, and not everyone has the capability of doing these things, especially when under huge pressure from 20, 30 players. I promise you, it's not something that you just learn overnight. It really isn't, and it won't ever be. And when I see multiple people doing it, especially people that were less than average skill level players, when I last played doing that, I know that's bullshit, right? I know this, right? That's literally that should be common sense for the devs again, right? Some things should be common sense for the devs to understand. But of course, this is what is causing the problem, right? Because people are wanting to, get all these random status effects on people, and this thing right here is also just not good for the game. We can't have nice things on this game. The devs should know this already. This would be fine, right? But because CMX exists and we've got people that just want to ruin this game and instantly kill you in one hit, now we have super overtuned the force pulse dribble gameplay that's not even PvP. That's what this is. So that is why this needs to be changed. You can't have this on the game. People that are running around on DKs using it and that, no problem. But these force pulse crushing shock builds that instantly kill you, no, this has to be changed specifically for that reason because it's not PvP. We've got people that are sitting on walls, literally murdering people with this from the security of a wall. You cannot allow that. You know what I mean? If anything, if you're going to leave it in, then change the range. You can have the damage. You are not doing that damage at range. You can't have range damage be that high. I don't know why. Something like I say, some things they won't learn. I don't know what it is. They just refuse to learn. You cannot allow that on this game. Once again, right next to the DK thing, right next to the DK having a sustain button without changing the major vitality or the sword and board classes. This is something else. Now the Zergy type players can't play the game. This is another thing. Do you know what I mean? You're making it too ridiculous. Some people, like I say, some people can't or don't want to get better. Some people like just being zaggy and you might have a pop at me, right, and say, "Well, you kill these players," but I do it legitimately, and I'm rarely ever playing something that is so unbelievably broken, right? I'm never exploiting that. I'm not doing those things. That's why I can say these things. You understand? I'm not playing builds made with CMX and stuff like that. Like, do you know what I mean? In PvP anyway, in PvE maybe. But yeah, you can't allow this. This has to be changed specifically for that reason. You cannot allow this to continue. Um, I kind of lost track of what I was saying there, but I'm going to skip off this now anyway. But this is why people are using scripts now. So they're definitely like attacking in between their skills and getting the random status effects and killing people faster. Um, that's why it's so popular right now. People really do use scripts. These people that make out that I'm crazy, people do it. They have done it, and they always will do it until ZOS stop them doing it. People have said people's ZOS don't ban people because they've pour money into the Crown Store. I don't know how true that is. I don't know. Um, but I'll say a lot of the people I've accused and seen doing this that aren't banned all have the premium version of this. I thought that might have been worth mentioning, and they have it because of that vigor. Where is it? The one with the little orange thing. This. Right, so maybe that is the case. We don't know, right? I have took everything into consideration, right? And of course, we'll get on to the subject where people were coming to my YouTube and they didn't like me saying certain things, right? They didn't like me posting that website. Why do you think I was doing it? And why do you think I kept saying this company is owned by Microsoft and they're letting people cheat? Because I wanted to make it clear that whatever they were doing, right, I weren't having it, right? Because they were, someone was doing something, right? I could tell you now, I played this game a long time. The server location hadn't moved. My location hadn't moved, right? I've lived in my house for 10 years, right? And I've played this game and I've never had any issues. Well, don't get me wrong, you've seen like sometimes you get a bit of lag, whatever normal server lag. But when I'm complaining, I'm not talking about normal server lag, right? And there was an issue occurring that when I fought only specific people, which these people then tried to claim was latency, of course, that wasn't. Um, because that wouldn't only occur when fighting specific players and regularly occur only when fighting those players. Um, but we did have people coming here saying that's because I'm bad and all this stuff, right? And you know what I'm like. I'm very observant of these things. I do pay attention, and that did seem like, the way these people were going in. That did seem like very peculiar. But well, I'll say this, right? I was going to sit and show you every single time this happened, but I'm going to show you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the video that I sent Zos, right? I was having issues on every character, right? Not just the one I'm going to show you, but for example, like since I come back to this game in 3 weeks, I hit two specky bows, two specky bows in 3 weeks. No, there's something wrong. Like, do you know what I mean? There's something wrong. And that felt like anytime I had certain people to like execute level health, I weren't allowed to use the execute. That's what was happening to me, right? That's why I was saying that people are scripting, and they are scripting anyway. Even though the problem's fixed, you can clearly see that they are scripting on this game. They are cheating. They need to be banned. Whether they were good before in the past, whatever is irrelevant. They are being lazy now, and they're not pressing buttons themselves. Trust me, you can tell this easily. But I'm going to show you this clip so you can understand this one clip. This was after. Um, I jumped all the hoops that Zos asked me to jump through, right? I had a man at my house that literally slowed down my internet. I opened the ports from my router, flushed my DNS, done everything. Like you can see, like the edge, you see the edge of this table here, how weird it looked. Like I was turning all my graphics down. I'm not sure if I fucked that up. I probably need to turn them back up now. But I was doing everything, right, to try and um cure this issue I was having, and nothing worked. After I'd done all that stuff, that was like 2 days, I think, and that was still the same. And I got annoyed, and I just clipped this fight with these two people, and where I wasn't allowed, I was not allowed to whip. I wasn't allowed to. I had 3 stacks of whip. I just was not allowed to whip them, and they weren't even in execute range. Just in general, I wasn't allowed to use whip against these players. And I sent that to Zos, and after I sent them this video, which you're going to see now on the screen, after I sent them this video, um, I went for my dinner. Later on, like a little while later, I came back, turned the game on, and I could use everything. Every that was just fixed. I could play the game. That was fucking weird. Like what they did, I don't. I'll never know. Right, but that's definitely a bit strange. Never had an issue like that before. And I'll say this. But what is this? What was this absolute fucking tool's name that come on here talking mad shit? Um, Some of these people, I think the shoe fits because they're from NA server and that, and they're coming straight on here and talking mad shit. Oh, Chan Fu. He wrote Freezy as stage 4 delusion, thinks everyone is cheating and using macro when really he just sucks. That's why he has no subs, views, and people comment on here calling him bad. I bet you feel like a right fucking bellend now, don't you, bellend, eh? That's your new name now, mate, innit? You look like a right fucking dipstick now, don't you, eh? What a fucking brain dead moron. Go back to farming your monetization, you little loser. He actually said, "Oh, this guy said I was jealous of him." Right, these people don't know why I call them monetization farmers and make fun of them, right? It's because they don't care about the game. They don't give a flying fuck about this game. All they care about is making money. That's why when they come here and give their opinions, I don't care what they say. I see that their opinion to me is completely irrelevant because all they care about is making money, right? They happily sit and ruin this game. I went and looked on another guy. I forgot what the other guy's name was that commented, but there was another guy that commented, and I went and clicked on his channel. I didn't watch the videos or nothing. I just clicked on his channel, and he had like 10 videos out for update 50. It's not even out. He had like 10 videos out because he sat there and stared at an add-on ready to fucking completely ruin that patch as well. Do you see what I mean? That's why when these people speak, I don't give a fuck what they say, right? I don't care what they say. And trust me, let me promise you, mate, ain't no one jealous of you, okay? Why would I be jealous? Like, I think the shoe is on the other foot in that instance. I think they're jealous of me, right? Because this isn't my career. I can say whatever I like. I don't have to worry about keeping up appearances, of this fucking fake personality or, not trying to upset little sponsors that might want to sponsor me. I don't have to worry about that. Same with the music, right? And obviously, of course, right? These people are upset with me. I know this. I knew this ages ago, right? I knew this back on the Marvel Rivals thing when that by the way was the most corrupt shit I ever saw. But I know why people don't like me is because I actually took the time and sat and learned how to edit, right? And they want to make normal, boring videos and farm money from it. So when someone like me come along, that upsets them, right? They don't like it. And on top of that, the copyright, the music, right? I can just use a copyright song if I want. They can't. Why? Because they can't monetize it and make money from it if they do that, right? You see why they don't like me? Right? And I can just sit there and go, "Fuck, this song's a banger," right? And I can just put that on my video, full well knowing, right, that I can't monetize it and make money from it because the person that owns the copyright has the right to then do that, right? And I'm cool with that. The only thing I have to worry about copyright music and things like that is if how many people I want to see the video, right? Because this isn't my career, right? And I'm trying to farm money from making videos. I don't have to worry about these things. So I can sit there and go, is this video really that important? Because if I use this song, then that's going to block some people from certain regions being able to see it, right? So the only thing I have to worry about copyright is how many people I want to see my video, right? They can't do that. Do you see what I mean? So I think if anyone's jealous of anyone, it's them of me, right? I'll leave that with you, and I'll catch you in the next one.